Live. We're live. Yay! What's up, guys? Abby here, and welcome back to another super chill Write With Me live stream. So I got a ton of requests to do this again since I did it in NaNoWriMo, during NaNoWriMo of last year, obviously. And it was super fun, and we got a ton of writing done. So I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to do it again. So here we are. First things first, you have to tell me if you can hear me okay and you can see me okay. All right. Sometimes my Wi-Fi is not nice to me, so I have to make sure you can see me and hear me. I'm so glad to see you all on here. We have over 200 people on here already. What the heck? You guys are amazing. I'm very excited to get to writing today. Okay, awesome. You can all hear me. Great. So first, tell me where you're tuning in from and what you're writing today. So I love to see all of the writers all over the world and all the different super diverse stories that we're working on. It's just so cool. I know you guys have been chatting already in the chat, but I just got here, so I'm like still catching up on things. So yeah, I'm very excited to start writing today. I actually already started writing earlier this morning. I've been working on this book, which is actually not the book I was writing for NaNoWriMo. I'm still working on that. That's my literary novel. I call it my lighthouse book because it doesn't have a name, but it involves a lighthouse. That's a big part of it. And I'm still working on that one. But today I'm working on something different. I'm working on a different project, which is kind of fun because I usually don't work on two projects at the same time. I'm usually like, I have to just focus on this one project, but I'm working on two projects at the same time right now. But it's working for me because they're like two very different projects. Okay, so I've found that helps me a lot if they're very different from each other. Right now, where I'm at in the Lighthouse book, it's kind of sad. Like all my characters are miserable at the moment because it's like the final climax and things are pretty heartbreaking for all my characters at the moment. So sometimes I'm like, I just want to write something that cheers me up, something that's warm and fuzzy and cute. So that's what this project is. And I'm not going to tell you anything else about it because I'm going to share it with you for real later this year. So that's all I'm going to say about it. It's cute, it's warm, it's fuzzy, it's a contemporary, of course. And it has been cheering me up during this kind of gloomy time. So I think it's good to work on multiple projects if you feel like it, because you'll end up being more inspired and in the mood for one thing on a particular day, and then more inspired and in the mood for something else on a particular day. So it all works. Okay, guys, it's awesome to see you all tuning in from all over the world. So cool. I'm so glad you're all here. We're going to write some awesome stuff today. I'm very excited to get into it. So hopefully you have your tea or your coffee or your beverage of choice. I have my obnoxiously optimistic mug because you know why. If you know me, you know what that's from. From 100 Days of Sunlight, of course. Also, those mugs are like part of the 100 Days of Sunlight merch that you can get on the website, and I think the link is just in the description or somewhere. I don't know. Can't remember where it is. But anyway, the way that this live stream is going to be structured is we are going to do writing sprints, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. So 5-minute break in between each writing sprint. And when I say writing sprints, they don't have to be like rush, 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 and write as much as you can. Like you can rush if that's what you're into, and you can share your word count during the break if you want to. But don't feel obligated to if that's not your thing, or if you don't count words or you don't really pay attention to it. It's totally a preference thing. Okay. So I don't like to rush when I do writing of any kind even writing sprints, okay? To me, writing sprints are useful because you're focused. So you turn on your timer and then you just start to focus and you write, and that's it. So I think even the word count can be a distraction sometimes if you're paying too close attention to it. So don't worry so much about the word count, just worry about, well, don't worry at all. Just focus on writing, okay? We're just gonna focus for 25 minutes at a time, and then my timer will ring and we'll have a 5-minute break. You can set your own timer if you want to, but I will be setting a timer and I'll start talking after the 25 minutes is up. And we'll have a little 5-minute break, chat about what we just wrote, chat about story in general, and then get back to writing. So trying to keep it fun and lighthearted here, but super chill, like very, very chill. I like to keep writing, no stress if possible. Okay, so who's ready to get started? Who's ready to start writing? I know you all are very excited. I'm very excited. Looks like a bunch more writers hopped on while I was talking just now. So I'm excited to get into it. Okay, so let's get started. Hopefully my phone doesn't die because I forgot to plug it in. But I'm not going to I'm not going to put on Wi-Fi. I'm just going to use it as a timer. That's another thing. Don't look at your phone. Just use it as a timer if you want to. But don't get distracted. That's what the writing sprints are all about. Okay, so I have 25 minutes on my timer, and I'm going to turn this up so that we can all hear it when it goes off. Hopefully it will go off. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. All right, looks like you guys are ready to go, ready to rock and roll, ready to write some awesome words. Let's go. Okay, 25 minutes. I will talk to you in 25 minutes. Here we go. Starting now. There's the time. 25 minutes is up. The first 25 minutes. How did the first writing sprint? The chat. My phone died before the timer went off and I didn't even know. And then we would just be stuck on that one writing sprint forever. So I finished the chapter I was working on, and then I started writing a little bit of an outline. I went into my outline, added a few things. It's funny because I started outlining this story. Well, I mostly outlined it, but like I kept it very vague, and then I'm going through it and like adding richer detail basically like 2 and 3 chapters ahead of time. So it's not like the whole thing isn't totally outlined yet. Like I know generally where it's going, but I'm experimenting with some new outlining strategy this time. Wow, you guys did a lot. 775 words, 372, 741, 450, 600. Wow, you guys are awesome. Great job. See the magic that happens when we just sit down and focus. Sometimes that's literally like all it takes. Just an accountability partner, me, and everybody else on this live stream. It's awesome. You guys are my accountability partners. I hope you know. It's like so helpful because you're all watching me. I can't get distracted, of course, but it helps me to stay focused and enjoy what I'm working on. Like I really do enjoy it more when you guys are here with me. Wow, awesome. Awesome, guys. I'm looking at the chat going by and seeing all the words that you guys wrote. Got a comment here. It would be amazing to do live streams like this more often and on different hours. Yes, I've thought of the same thing. And actually last time I think I did in the afternoon. So I was doing it a little bit earlier this time in hopes that the people who missed it last time could jump on this one. But yeah, I want to do these more often, and I want to do them like kind of staggered throughout the day so that more can join, because I know especially during the week, a lot of times a lot of people are busy or working or in school. So I definitely want to do more of these. Oh, is my internet having problems? Let's see. Yeah, sometimes my internet is terrible, especially in this room for some reason. But I'm not getting any warnings, so hopefully it's still pretty decent. I'm trying to see this chat before it like goes flying by. Okay, somebody said it's fine now, so I don't know. It's probably different for everybody. I don't know. It's so hard to tell with live streams. Sometimes it's my internet, sometimes it's the person who's watching it, or you know, I don't know. It's difficult sometimes. You should do a late night one for us working moms. Yeah, that would be fun, like a late night writing session. That would be cool. Yes, I live in Vermont, if somebody was asking that. I live in Vermont, and right now there's tons of snow outside. I don't know if you can see that out this window. We just got like, oh, I don't know, at least 4 to 5 inches of snow last night. So it's a winter wonderland outside, and it's really pretty, but it's cold. It's definitely a good time to stay inside and write with tea. Are you a night owl? Not really. I prefer getting early, but lately I've been staying up too late. I've been trying to get to bed earlier, but I don't know. Type in the chat if you guys tell me if you are a night owl or an early bird. I prefer to get up early. Like if I can get up early, like before dawn, it's like one of my favorite times to write. Oh, and by the way, I was going to comment that my sister Kate, who's in this chat, by the way, she does videos all about living in Vermont, some of which I'm feeding, but not all of them. And her videos are aesthetic, so you need to check out her channel if you haven't already. And it's youtube.com/Abbie Emmons. And also that's where she posts the episodes of the podcast. So our podcast, The Kate and Abbie Show, is posted on her channel. And she has tons of videos about Vermont. So if you dig Vermont or you want to like get a better glimpse at what my life looks like in Vermont and Kate's life, definitely check out her videos because they're awesome. What am I writing? Okay, some people are hopping on later, so you didn't hear my introduction, but I'm writing a story that I haven't told anybody about yet, which is like a cute, cozy contemporary. And I'm currently writing a different book that is like a literary romance novel. So I'm writing 2 projects at the same time. And I usually don't do this. I usually just focus on one project at a time. But I really wanted to write this story that I'm currently working on today. So I started writing that last week. Relatively new. And it's been really fun because it's totally different from, it's like the same genre, I guess, because it's all contemporary, but it's very different than the literary book. So I think that's the reason that I can work on 2 projects at the same time, because it helps to have them be completely different from each other. I've found I've also really been enjoying like slow pace writing something. So I'm very slowly writing the literary book, and I'm really enjoying that. I like to take my time with writing, especially something more thoughtful. I mean, not that my other books aren't thoughtful, but this story just has more layers to it. So I'm enjoying taking my time with that. So I didn't want to like rush through that one and finish it in order to work on this one. I wanted to like have that on the side and then continue working on this. So all that to say that, yeah, I'm working on 2 books at the same time, and I'm really digging it. So maybe I'll make a video about that sometime, how to, write 2 books at the same time and balance that, and have a good time doing it so that it doesn't feel like you're just spinning a bunch of plates. Okay. Yeah, I think the 5 minutes is up. Somebody said, is the 5 minutes up? Yeah. I'm rambling. Sorry. Okay. Let's do another writing sprint. So 25 minutes on the clock. Let's do another sprint. Get back into writing. I'm going to start a new chapter, I think, because I pretty much have everything outlined for the next chapter. Actually, for the next 2 chapters, so in detail. So I should be good to go. So 25-minute timer is starting now. And there's the timer for our second writing sprint. 25 minutes just flew by that time, I think. It's like getting really into it. How'd it go? How was your second writing sprint? Comment in the chat and let me know. I wrote just about 300 words, so that was pretty good actually for me. Yeah. Usually I can't like write that quickly at the beginning of a chapter. Once I get into it, it's like, this is good. So the beginning of a chapter is always the slowest for me, but pretty happy with that one. Set a timer this time for the break so that I don't go over, so we can keep writing. Wow, you guys wrote a lot. Let's see. 1,000 words. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. 400, 313, 200. Love your hair. Thank you. 650. Wow. That's awesome. You guys are doing amazing. And I'm like kind of towards the low end of most of you guys' word count. So you should be very proud of yourselves. That's awesome. Great job. Yeah, I've been noticing that with something that's like more I don't even know how to describe it, like more contemporary, like cozy. It's just easier for me to write. It like comes more easy to me than other genres. I think we all have like a genre that comes really easy to us and it feels like breathing to write it. And for me, that's like cute contemporary romance. But it still like has depth. I mean, it's not just fluff, although it is kind of fluffy. It's gonna be good. Can you do a video on writing comedy? Yeah, actually, I've been wanting to do a video on writing comedy for a long time. I have some notes going for a video on that, because that's something that, I mean, it's kind of subjective. Like a lot of people have a very specific taste in comedy. I'm gonna take these off while I talk to you guys, so you don't have to see the reflection of my softbox. I think people have like very specific taste in comedy, so it varies a lot. There's a lot to talk about with comedy though. My favorite type of comedy is like witty comedy. That's kind of what's the word? Like kind of weird. Not like slapstick. I hate slapstick so much. So when I say that I like comedy, I think people think that I like slapstick and like silly comedy, but really I've never found that very funny. I don't find it clever. I like clever, witty comedy that's kind of offbeat. I guess a lot of people wouldn't consider it comedy, but I find it really funny. So that's like my very specific niche of comedy that I like. Witty banter and stuff like that. Like, I live for that. So I want to do a video on that and like cover various types of comedy. Like some slapstick is fine if it's like clever, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. I don't know. But it's really a preference thing. So I don't like to say like this is good, this is bad, because it's like totally a preference with something like comedy. But I do want to make a video on that. Your guys' podcast is the best ever. Yay! I'm so glad you like the podcast. It is really fun. I'm so glad you guys like it. Oh yay, I just got a super chat. Thank you so much to Leandra Lit. When you finish a story, do you take a break from it for a certain amount of time before starting in on revising and edits? That's a good question. Thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, for everybody who isn't familiar with it, super chat is a fun way to support my channel while we are here on the live stream. So you can donate to the channel right there in the chat, and your comment will be held and highlighted, and I can read it and read your question and answer it. Not that I'm not reading the other questions. I am, but they go by so quickly. Okay, so when I finish a story, do I take a break from it for a certain amount of time? Yes, I do. I break for about 3 to 6 months usually. It depends on the timeline of the book. Sometimes I have a shorter deadline when it needs to come out, but I try to give myself ample time, especially between the end of the first drafting process and revisions. So the first revision, I guess, is what I'm talking about here. So when I finish the first draft, I like to set it aside for at least 3 to 6 months and kind of forget about it and then come back to it. It's like a decompression period where I can forget a lot of aspects of it and then come back to it with sort of a fresh perspective. And then I do my first revision. And then that's involving rewrites and things like that, developmental edits, anything I want to change about the plot. If I change a lot about the plot, then I might wait again for a little while and then come back to it and read it for a line edit. But I also made a whole video on my entire editing process. Check that out. It should come up if you just type in, you know, Abbie Emmons editing. I only have a few videos on it, so you will see that. Kate just did a super chat. Hi, Kate. And she asked me my favorite question, which is, would you like another cup of tea? Yes, actually, I would. Would you like to make me one, dearest sister? I would appreciate that. And thanks for the super chat, Kate. Yay, another super chat. Oh my gosh, she lives her dream. I wish you'd tell us about yourself, age, job, etc. Thanks. So my job is writing, basically. Writing and YouTube. This is what I do. Writing and coaching writing. That's pretty much all I do as far as job career goes. And just been trying to sort of grow this community into something bigger and better all the time. And I'm very excited for that. I don't usually tell people my age online specifically, but I can tell you that I'm in my early 20s, okay? Early 20 something. So, oh my gosh, another super chat. Yay. I'm glad I mentioned this because now you all are like doing super chats, which is amazing. And I so appreciate your support. This one is from Adam. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. How do you get in a state to write when you're not? So like in the writing mood, that's a good question. And I made a video about it a long time ago, and I still use these techniques to get in the writing mood. Music is a big thing for me, whether it's an ambient soundscape and ambient music, or just some playlist that's related to my book that's similar to the vibe of the story. Also, aesthetic boards are a huge inspiration for me. I love looking at aesthetics and mood boards of what my book feels like and looks like. Actually, that's what this is on the wall behind me. And there's our time for our break. We're gonna do another sprint in a second. This is like a physical aesthetic board that I made for my literary book on my wall behind me. So aesthetics, music, also reading back through what I already wrote, either the day before or the previous day or like earlier that day. Reading back through what I'm currently writing is also something that inspires me. Okay. I'll do this one last super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Kite. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but do you have any videos or can you make one on the science and structure of making a good scene? That's a good question. And I want to do some more videos on like breaking down scenes and stuff, which the Science of Story series is going to cover a lot of that, which is going to be fun because we'll do like case studies about particular scenes that are really strong. But for now, I would point out the scene card video. So if you type in on YouTube, scene cards, Abbie Emmons, you'll see my video on scene cards. I actually have 2 videos on scene cards. And although it doesn't go into like the structure of a scene, it does something more important, in my opinion, which is helps you to figure out what matters in your scene. Okay, what's happening, why it matters, the cause and the effect, the consequence that the scene has, and what happens next. So I think that every scene has to have something that triggers it before and a reason why it happens and why it matters to the characters. Of course, we have to know that. And then like a logical next step. And so what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next because of what just happened here? Okay, so I'm going to do a video on that sometime, but that's going to be coming up. And then also videos on like breaking down scenes from stories, films, and looking at the science behind what makes them good and also what makes them like not as good, like kind of lackluster, you know? So looking at the science behind that. So thank you all so much for the super chats, and feel free to keep doing those because I can scroll up and see them after I finish the writing sprint. Okay, so I will go back and find your question if you did post one. It might look like it vanishes because the time runs out on it, but I can go back up and see because I think it highlights for me. Pretty sure. Okay, so who's ready for another writing sprint? I think Katie's making me a cup of tea, hopefully. You'll probably see her hand pop in in a minute to give me my cup of tea. It's so great. Oh, there she is.
Here's your tea.
Hi,
As
thank
ordered.
you.
It foamed really nicely this time.
Oh, wow. Do you mind setting it down? Because it's just...
Shall I take the old tea?
Yes, thank you.
Shall I drink the rest of your rejected tea?
It got cold.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Have a nice writing sprint.
Thanks. This looks amazing. So good. Y'all wish you had Kate in your life. She makes the best tea, and she comes and supplies me while I'm in the middle of doing a live stream, which is amazing. Thank you, Kate. Sisterly love, it is. Okay, so who's ready for the next writing sprint? I talked for too long again, but whatever. Okay, 25 minutes. Got your timer ready. I've got my timer ready. And I'm going to cue up some music and get back into it. Kind of what my, this is kind of a fun scene. So I'm going to put on my sneaking around playlist. I have a bunch of writing playlists, by the way, on my Spotify. I feel like I posted them. I didn't post them in this one, sorry, but I posted them in the last Write With Me live stream. So if you're looking for some good music, I am quite obsessed with curating playlists for writing. Okay, let's set our timers and go at it for another 25 minutes. This is our third sprint. Let's do it. Ready, set, go. Good luck. Ready? Okay, that was the timer for our third writing sprint. So, break time. Just have to write one more line. Okay. So, how'd it go? How did the third writing sprint go? Let me know in the chat. You can share your word count if you feel like it, but don't feel like you need to, because it is not paramount. It's just kind of fun. Scrolling back through here. All right. So, wow, looks like you guys did awesome. Some great numbers here coming through here. I wrote 1,000 words again. Wow, awesome. Go you. That's so great. Let's see how many I've written so far. Well, it's kind of messed up because I was writing earlier, but so far today I've written 1,300 words. Yay. But I had written about 300 or something before I showed up here. So I think I wrote pretty much 1,000 so far, which is pretty good for me on a live stream like this. So awesome. Looks like you guys are doing great. I'm so glad that you're getting some words down and enjoying this writing session. We still have 2 more word sprints to go. So if you have to hop off, don't worry. I will be doing more of these in the future. I know we're kind of going for a long live stream this time, so I know you all won't be able to stay for the whole thing, but we're going to try to go until we're going to do 2 more writing sprints of 25 minutes, so for another hour. Yeah, so what music was I listening to? I was listening to some soundtracks. Actually, I was listening to my writing playlist, my sneaking around writing playlist, which is like for fun, sneaky scenes, because this is just kind of a fun, comical scene. I don't know if you saw me laughing, but I was laughing at my own writing. I do that a lot, honestly. Oh my gosh, 100 subs in 20 minutes? What? That's so cool. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. Also, it's like so awesome that there's been like consistently over 400 writers on this live stream. You guys are sticking with it, and I love you. You're awesome. How do I find your playlist? Let's see. Let me see if I can just like give you guys the link to my Spotify, because I'm going to be annoyed if I can't. Oh, wait. Actually, it's right here. Hopefully it doesn't start playing on this computer, because I'm like listening to it on another computer, obviously. Okay, Spotify, I think profile link. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys the link to the, I'm going to put this here. I think this will work. I just posted the link to my Spotify. So those are all my playlists. And some of them are, if you scroll down, you'll see like all the writing playlists say music for writers on them. So those are the ones that I have a whole batch that are instrumental only, and then a whole batch that are also that are songs with lyrics. So kind of a good mixture. Oh, looks like a super chat just came in. Thank you so much. I'm gonna mispronounce your name. Iviania. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. But thank you so much for the super chat. Do you sometimes suddenly start hating your plot? If so, how do you get back to a place where you start loving your story once again? Hmm, that's a good question. And that's something that definitely I have ran into times where I just am not feeling the plot. I don't know if I'd use the word like hate. I don't know if I'd say that I hate it completely, because a lot of times I will love many elements of it, but there's just one element or a few elements that feel like they're not working for me. So when that happens, what I usually have to do is rethink some things. So a lot of times I'll talk about it with Katie, my writing buddy, and we'll bounce ideas off of each other. And I'll be like, oh, I'm not really feeling this, or this is, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing here. And she'll usually help me to get some clarity and um, just find what's not working and how things can change in the plot. Also, taking a break can be really beneficial sometimes. If you like find that you're just hitting a wall over and over again with this, then I think it's time to take a break, take some time away from the story, maybe take some time writing a different story, and then once you return to it, you'll probably have some new ideas and a way to freshen up the plot so that you like it better. But chatting with somebody that you trust and you get good ideas from, that's a must-have for me. And then also just setting it aside for a little while and then coming back to it later can also be really helpful. Has really helped me in the past. Let's see. For people who are confused about the super chat thing, super chat is a fun way to support my channel while we are here on the live stream. So it's the little sticker right beneath the chat box where it says say something, the little money sticker right underneath it. That is the super chat. So if you do a super chat, it will show up in the chat highlighted and it will stay there for a period of time. And I will see your question and read it. I'm also reading through some of these other questions, but the chat goes by quickly, so sometimes I don't see them all. So the super chat does help me to see it, and it also helps support what I'm doing here on YouTube. So if you get value out of live streams like this and videos that I post on my channel, I highly appreciate your support. Are those pastel journals on your desk? Yes, they are. This is, most of these, actually 2 out of 3 of these are the Lavender workbooks, which I love so much. And I talked about in my New Year's video. Check that out if you haven't seen it already. Okay, another super chat. Thank you again, Adam. How do you simplify your writing? How do you choose what to say and what you're better off without? It's funny because I was just talking about this last night with Katie, like writing simpler rather than focusing so much on stylish prose and being, you know, flowery or ostentatious with your word choice. It's tricky sometimes to simplify your writing and to still convey meaning in less words. Like that's actually more impressive to me if you can write something profound with very simple language rather than something that's harder to understand and more pretentious with flowery language. So I always prefer the simple writing. But how do you make it simple? I think by keeping it emotional and real and raw. And I know that sounds really vague, but that's something that I always remind myself to do. Just keep it emotional and real. What exactly is happening? You know, what does it feel like exactly? And if you can really focus in on that one little emotion, even with something really small, and don't be afraid to use things like metaphors, but don't be afraid to make your metaphors really simple, you know, something that a small child could understand. We were talking about this last night, and I was thinking about how a lot of writing that is simpler can still be profound in a way that a child could read it and understand it and get like a deeper message out of it. Like just because it's simpler or it's made for children or suitable for children doesn't mean that it is less intelligent or less engaging or profound. So yeah, food for thought. Wow, okay. More super chats. Thank you guys so much. I saw one go by without a question, but that was from Jay Zeeb. Thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Amy Ray. Thank you, Amy. You're the best. Do me a favor, give Match Ice Cream a shot. I will. I will definitely check that out. And for the person who asked what I'm drinking a London Fog. I actually didn't even know what tea Katie was going to make me, and she brought me London Fog. She read my mind. It's very good. She makes the best London Fogs. Okay, another super chat. Thank you from She Lives Her Dream. Just super chatting because I published my first book in November and it was 100% based on your teachings. Thank you for being a genius. Thank you so much. That brightens my day, honestly. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on publishing your book. That's amazing. And I'm so happy that my videos have been inspiring to you and helped to make that a reality. That is awesome. Wow, way to go. Let's see, let's take a few more questions before we get into our fourth writing sprint. How much does a writer make? That's very subjective. That's really depends on the writer. Especially depends on whether you're indie published or traditional published. So that's a whole topic for another time. I've been wanting to make a video actually on how much, like on money related things with indie publishing, because I think there's a lot of questions about that. How long do you recommend each chapter to be if you are swapping point of views with each chapter? It really depends on the length of the chapters on average, I would say. And it doesn't have to be like one particular thing. I mean, my chapters are all over the place, whether I'm switching point of views or not. Anybody who's read 100 Days of Sunlight knows that some chapters were 4,000 words and some were 400 words. So that's how I wrote that book. That was the style of that book. I would stick with a style. So even if the style is they're all over the place, stick with that style, rather than like, you know, every chapter is 3,000 words and then there's one chapter or a few chapters that are 200 words or something. That might be strange. But sticking with a style, I think, is always a good way to go. Okay, let's see. How did you get so freaking good at writing and advice? Did you take classes and stuff or read a lot? I did read a lot, but probably not like a lot considering how much I've seen some other people read. I mean, I don't consider myself like a huge reader, but I do like reading. And I always loved reading growing up. And I had a lot of time to be creative as a kid because, as a lot of you probably know, I was homeschooled and I so enjoyed that because I had so much opportunity to creatively express myself through writing. And I was spending a lot of time writing and reading and writing and reading and learned a lot just through the practice and the experience of writing, and developed a love for it in a way that I don't think I would have if somebody was telling me like, you must read this amount of books and write this on these subjects that you don't care about and stuff like that. I mean, I obviously had a lot of assignments and a lot of reading to do for school, but it was more creative, I guess, more freeing. So that's really what got me into writing in the beginning. And I did read a lot. I love reading. I have always loved reading. But that brought me to a place where I just started to focus on my own writing and see how can I make this even better. And the more you ask yourself that question, I think the more you learn, the more you're open to learn, you know? So I'm constantly learning, even though I'm making videos all the time, teaching and giving advice. I'm forever a student, and I don't expect to ever reach a point where I know everything. Like, how boring would that be? So I'm constantly learning. I'm learning with you guys, and I'm sharing everything that I'm learning as I'm learning it and beyond. So I'm very happy that you have had inspiration and found some good advice on my channel. Okay, a lot of people are homeschooled too. Awesome! Yay for the homeschoolers. It's the best. I agree. And let's see. We'll take a few more questions and then we'll get back into writing sprints. How do you stop procrastinating on your writing projects? Just do it. I know that sounds annoying. I know that's annoying, but just got to do it, you know? Even if it's just one sentence, one word. A lot of times procrastination is just you're intimidating yourself, and there's absolutely no need to be doing that. Like, just open the document and start writing something, or start writing something completely different. Like, that can break you out of a slump. At least in my experience, it really helps to break me out of a slump if I'm like, I'm just going to write something. It doesn't even have to be good. And I start using that writing muscle again. Then you stop obsessing and you stop intimidating yourself, and then everything is good. So I highly recommend that. Let's see. How do you stop? Okay, this will be the last question. How do you stop the urge to write a new book when you're writing another one? I think this is a struggle that many writers face, and I face it as well. So the methods that I use are a few things. First, every time I get an idea for it, I will write down the ideas for it, okay? I will start a Scrivener project for that project. If it seems like something I'm going to write in the future, I will start a Scrivener project for it, and I will dump all my ideas into that project. Make sure that I've written everything down, every single idea that I have had for that project, so that I don't forget it. It is somewhere. I will also satisfy my urge to write it by creating a Pinterest board for it, creating a playlist for it, brainstorming it, but not too hardcore, not getting carried away with myself, but just enjoying the early stages of getting inspiration for that project, especially if it seems like something I'm going to write for sure. And oftentimes you can tell which book you are going to take seriously, or which story idea you're going to take seriously, by how much of that pre-preparation you're doing. So by that, I mean, some story ideas I've made Pinterest boards for, but I've never really returned to them. And that kind of tells me that, okay, I'm not as excited about this idea as I thought I was. So it's good to let those ideas kind of simmer on the back burner a little bit and just brainstorm them. Think about them. Don't be afraid to think about them and write down all your ideas. But if you feel like it's not time to work on it yet, then stay focused on what you're doing and indulge yourself a little bit by writing down those ideas and creating things like Pinterest boards and playlists. That's what I do. That helps me a lot. But sometimes it's okay to write two projects at the same time. So also don't be adverse to that idea. Like, you might be okay with writing two projects at the same time, and it might work out great, you know? So like, that's what I'm doing right now. So let's do another writing sprint, shall we? I'm at, let's see, this live stream, we're at 2 hours and 5 minutes. Wow. So let's do another 25 minutes of writing. Who's ready to get back into it? Got your timers? I have my timer set up. I need some. Lip balm, because my lips are so dry, because it's so dry in here, even though I have my diffuser going. Okay, so I set my timer. Okay, y'all ready? I see me. I'm writing 5 novels at once. Oh my gosh. Wow. Go you. That is amazing. That's very impressive. Ready to go? I don't know why my glasses get so dirty. I like never touch my face. You're all like, yeah, you do. We've been sitting here watching you touch your face all day. Okay. Let's go. 25 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, go. there's the time on our 4th sprint. Another 25 minutes gone, just like that. What the heck? I feel like that one just flew by. I was probably staring out the window for most of it because I kind of hit like a rough spot. Like, I know what I want to have happen here, but it's mostly dialogue, and I'm not sure what the dialogue's going to be yet. This is where source material helps me so much. And I talked about that in my NaNoWriMo prepping video, how a lot of times I'll create source material, and by that I mean like pre-written dialogue, and save it for later because I know exactly what my characters are going to talk about in a particular scene. And I write it ahead of time, and then I just like copy it over and fill in the gaps and enhance it later. So I don't really have that for this one. I kind of just have vague ideas. So I spend more time staring out the window in that case. Looks like you guys had a good sprint. 500 words, 337, 650, 300, 435. Awesome. Great job, guys. I'm so proud of you for sticking with this. Do I write short stories? Yes, I do. And I want to spend more time writing short stories this year because they're so much fun. And I don't know why I don't write more short stories because it's very rewarding to be able to just sit down and write something and finish it and be like, hey, I wrote today and I have a finished product that I can share with people. Like, that's really cool. And that's something that you can't really do with a novel. The waiting period is much longer. Let's see. Wow, 3,650 words in total. That's awesome. Congratulations. How many words on average do you put in an outline? It depends on the length of the book, but my average is 20,000 words for an outline. If it's a longer book, then it will probably be more, but the outline is something that I'm constantly adding to. So as I go further into the book, as I'm writing more of the book, I'll go into my outline and change things and add things and put more detail in there. So it ends up being longer when I'm finished writing the book than it was before I started writing the book. So I'm constantly outlining, I guess is the point. But 15,000 to 20,000 words is my average for a detailed outline, which is very, very long. I think a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people write that long of outlines, but that's just something that works personally for me. So I say whatever works for the writer. Outline as much as you want. How far are you into your book? Well, I set a goal for the word count. And for this project, I'm nearly halfway there. So I'm not going to tell you what the word count goal is because that might give away what it is. I don't want to give it away. So I'm not going to say what the word count goal is, but I will tell you that I'm almost halfway there. In fact, I probably am halfway there, and I'm probably going to end up writing too many words because I usually go over. Let's see. Oh, new super chat. Thank you, Amy, for the super chat. Are you still drumming? And if so, what are some of your favorite songs to play? Good memory. I am. I haven't practiced a lot lately, so I haven't become very proficient in drumming yet. But I've been really wanting to get out there and practice more. So yeah, it's not, I can't really play like an actual song yet all the way through flawlessly. But I do like to practice too. Several different songs are really good to practice to. I usually like do part of a lesson and then in a course that I got, and then I just do like some freestyle practicing with the songs that I like. And they're kind of all over the place. One of the songs that I love the drums so much in and so want to learn someday is oh gosh, I don't know if I'll remember the title now. It was that one that Junkie XL did with for Come Together. Okay. Wow, how come I couldn't remember that? The Come Together cover with Gary Clark Jr. and Junkie XL has amazing drums. I also love the drums in The House of the Rising Sun, particularly the cover by, I think the band is Heavy Young Heathens, but I can't remember anymore. But the drums in that are exquisite. So there are a few. I have like a whole playlist that's like drum practice, and I can't remember what's on that playlist. I probably have it here. This is such a deviation. Shinedown has a lot of good drumming. Royal Blood is another band that I really like. Love their drums. Also Royal Deluxe. Royal Deluxe was one I was thinking of. Royal Blood, I have a song by them on here too. Royal Deluxe has some great drums, so I try to just like freestyle it and then have fun, but also do some of the course. Okay, another super chat from FL Potts. Thank you so much for the super chat. I split my time here between studying and writing. Staying accountable while getting it done was so helpful. I will definitely be here for future lives. Awesome. So glad to have you. Thank you for coming and thank you for the super chat. I'm so glad you got some writing in. Let's see. Bunch of questions here. Trying to scan. What is a good way to slow down your pacing without making things boring? That's a good question. I would say go into your character's mind more. So if you feel like things are happening too fast, maybe things are happening too fast and your character needs to think about things a little bit more. So maybe go into their mind and focus a little bit on some internal dialogue, internal narration of what is going on in their head right now. That will kind of put a pause on what's happening and take you into their thoughts, but you'll have the opportunity to introduce some more internal conflict, which always is a good thing because then it makes the scene matter still without feeling like a deviation. Okay, so that's a good way to slow it down. Where did I get my journals from? These journals, I showed you one earlier, but this is the Artist of Life journal by Lavender, which I love for planning my year. This year she made yellow ones, which are super cute and very like 100 Days of Sunlight-ish. And this one is a daily planner, also by Lavender, that I really like. It's a really nice daily planner because it gives you like self-care as well as a to-do list and notes and a gratitude journal area and like a theme for your day. So I really like this one as well. And I'm using both of these this year. And then this one is a bullet journal that actually the lovely Amy Ray gave me. So Amy is here on the live stream. Thank you, Amy, for this journal. And I haven't filled it out yet. I haven't used it yet, but I have been really wanting to bullet journal for a long time. So this is a great opportunity to try. So yeah, these are little mini tour of my journals on my desk that I use on the daily. I also have way more journals, but we won't go into that. Another super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Lavanya. Hopefully I said that right. My name is Lavanya. What are some of your favorite novels? Oh gosh, where to begin? Okay. Probably my all-time favorites. It's so difficult, but yes, my all-time favorites would have to be To Kill a Mockingbird, Pride and Prejudice. I also really love The Book Thief, and I am so biased on this, but I love my sister's books. Like, I know this sounds like a conflict of interest, but my sister's books are amazing, and she's such a good writer. And if you haven't checked out her series, you totally should, especially if you like fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal stuff. It's called The Blood Race, and her name is K.A. Emmons. Her author name is K.A. Emmons. And it's an awesome series, so you should totally check that out. I love reading all of her writing. But those are some of my favorites for sure. I love so many of the classics. I also love Jane Eyre, is one of my favorite classics. I love how it's written in first person, and not a lot of classics are, and that's just like pretty unique. But yeah, there's so many to name. Ah. Can I just say thank you for the motivation? You are welcome. I'm so glad this is motivating. Pride and Prejudice all the way. Yes. Jane Austen. Pretty much everything Jane Austen. Everything Jane Austen. To Kill a Mockingbird. I just will pick up To Kill a Mockingbird on like at random intervals and just like open it and read a piece of it because it inspires me so much, and I just love the writing style. Have you ever thought about writing a historical fiction novel? I have, and I would love to write historical fiction because I love historical fiction so much. Like, as you know, I watch mostly period dramas, and I love historical settings so much. But the thing that's always like deterred me from doing that is the research. Literally, that's it. Like, every other element of it is so appealing, but the research has just always held me back because I'm like, there would have to be so much research involved in this. But, you know, it's kind of like a trade-off. So I think I could definitely do it, but I've never really put the effort into learning that much about a particular time period that I'm writing in. But maybe someday. I would definitely like to try it. And I have a lot of ideas for historically set stories. So someday, for sure. Okay, we have one more writing sprint left. Who wants to do one more writing sprint? I know we're getting close to 3 hours here, but anybody up for another writing sprint? I know I am, and then we're gonna like finish this live stream off and chill out. So I'm gonna get my timer back. Okay, looks like you all are ready for another sprint. You want to do another? Okay, yes. Awesome, let's do it. Okay, 25 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Earbuds in, world off, music on, timer's on. Good luck, everybody. One more writing sprint. We can do this. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. there's the time for our last sprint. We did it. We got through 5 writing sprints. Crazy. Last time we just did 4, and I think it still went to almost 3 hours, but that's it. That is the 5th writing sprint, which concludes our session. Was it a good session? Did you guys write a lot of words? How'd you do in the last sprint? And tell me how much you've written since we started. Let's see. I've written almost 1,800 words. Just under 1,800 words since we started. So that's a pretty good writing session for me. I hope you guys got some good writing in during this live stream. It's always so much fun to write together. So much more fun to write together and hold each other accountable and be each other's virtual writing buddies over the internet. So it looks like you guys did a ton of writing. Wow, 3,000 words in all, 2,300, 2,000, 2,800. Wow, that is awesome. 1,400 of world building. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations, guys. You are amazing. Way to go showing up for yourself. That's what this is all about, is showing up for yourself. Okay? Like I said at the beginning, it's not about rushing or word count. It's really just about showing up for yourself and getting that writing time in and doing yourself a favor and committing to your goals and your projects and having fun. So I'm so glad that we got to write together today. It was super fun. I got a lot of good writing in, and I am excited to continue this story and to do another writing session like this with you guys in the future. I'm definitely going to be doing these more often going forward because they're so much fun, and I think everybody gets a lot of writing done, and we can chat about the story, and I can answer questions and all kinds of fun things included in the live streams. So next time, I don't know when that will be, but I will do it like later in the day or earlier in the day. Sometime that is going to work for the writers who couldn't make it because of time zone differences. Okay, so I'm going to stagger these more throughout different times during the day so that more writers can show up and join us if they weren't able to today because of the time differences. So yeah, that will be next time, and I'm not sure when we'll do another one of these, but we will do another one soon because it's a lot of fun and we get a lot of writing done. So win-win, right? Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming to the live stream today. I'm so glad you got a lot of writing done and that you had fun and stayed motivated. Always a good thing. It's amazing to see you all on here. Thank you also for everybody who did a super chat in the chat today. I so appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you on the next live stream and next Wednesday in next Wednesday's video. So, as always, until then, rock on.